Shifters, welcome back to another episode of the Post Shift Podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Shawn Soole. Today we have got Ryan Foley from Bartender Magazine. Now, Bartender Magazine, even for me being in Australia at the time, was one of the only bartender magazines that you could get in the world at that time. So doing 20, 25 years ago. And Ryan actually took over the company and the magazine from his father after he passed away a couple of years ago. And what Ray Foley did for the industry through the 70s, 80s, and 90s was quite incredible. So we're going to be talking about the legacy of Bartender Magazine as a bartender magazine and sort of the future of everything. Got a couple more buttons to click. I am still fighting off the flu. So if you did see my live stream yesterday, or you've watched an episode the last couple of weeks, I've been fighting this flu for a week. So if I have to take a break and have a cough, I apologize to have that in your ear if you're just on the treadmill at the gym and all of a sudden it's my freaking Goliath cough in your ear. So I apologize for that in advance. But Ryan Foley, thank you very much for having me. We connected last week at Portland Cocktail Week, or a couple of weeks ago at Portland Cocktail Week, and it was great to meet face to face because I always sort of see who sort of supports me, and I know that you always watch the live streams on LinkedIn and stuff like that. So I really appreciate your support, and it's great to have an opportunity to sit down and chat now.
Yeah, thank you so much for that amazing intro and for having me. It really means a lot. And yes, I'm a big I watch on LinkedIn a lot, which I feel like is a cool platform to watch on.
I think it's a underrated platform when it comes to videos and that sort of thing. Everyone's so stuffy and professional. And I'm like, fuck it. Let's just roll out a live stream on
absolutely.
LinkedIn. So for everybody listening at home, where did you come from to get to the stage? Obviously, your dad started Bartender Magazine in 1970 something, 1980 something,
1979. Yep. And he was working. Crazy, right? He was a long-time bartender, and he was saying that there was no print or media outlet for bartenders specifically at the time, and he brought it up to his regulars, and they laughed at him, and that gave him the fuel to send that to the next level. For those who were able and lucky enough to meet Dad, that's how he was. He took no shit from anybody, and he had a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun, and wanted to create a really nice space for people to learn and share ideas. And at the time, there was no internet or LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook. So, the print magazine was his way, and had no kind of media experience. He was a comedy writer, and did some stuff for Johnny Carson before, during his off nights. And then, just did the magazine. So it's an awesome to be a part of it. But yeah, I grew up in this business. Really, I'd never worked outside of hospitality ever.
It's interesting that your dad was so gruff and dry, and he was a comedy writer.
Yeah. It was kind of he was very good at a spur of the moment, quick comedy thing. That's how he was. But yeah, definitely a dry sense of humor, real tough, but so much love, right? From the hospitality, he just wanted to protect bartenders and really give them the platform to do it. So that's always going to be my North Star of, help the community, help everyone that we possibly can, and give everybody a safe space to share ideas and to learn more.
And so what's your background? So you said you were in hospitality since day one. So you've been in the hospitality industry the whole way through, and then inherited.
Yeah, I was lucky enough that Dad was, doing this and not selling toilet paper or something. But yeah, so I've obviously been a part of the magazine my whole life. But then when I turned 13, my dad gave me working papers for my birthday. And I actually went to work at an ice cream shop. And then during the nights, I would just clean the bars, mop the floors and do the things. And then throughout my years, as I got older, bussing tables to washing dishes. And I thought, at the time I was like, my dad owns this magazine. I'm so cool. And, thought I was just going to be able to get a bar back job. And my dad was like, absolutely not. You will work your way through the ranks. And I really looking back, I talk about this a lot, how much I appreciate that of working in the hospitality space, and Dad being him, just saying dude, you have to learn every aspect of this industry before you even think about, doing the magazine. So I did that all through high school and college, worked in bars and restaurants. And then I worked at a bar down in New Jersey called Bar Anticipation. They have 15 bars within the bar itself. It's crazy.
Wow.
They did about 45 kegs on a Tuesday night for Beat the Clock. Like, this is like a
Wow.
Jersey institution. And I bar back there for a really long time. And then one day I just was like, can I work behind the desk to learn that side of the business? Like inventory and, the calendars for the staff and all those things. And I actually found that I loved doing that because I felt like I had a different connection with the bartenders than ever before. So dad was like, okay, like try to do that. So I worked at a couple agencies for major, liquor suppliers over the past 15 years. And then when dad passed, it actually was 2 years ago on Monday that dad passed. Over the past, like, that time, I realized that, like, I have something here that can really transform and, bring a different aspect to the community. So I just have really taken it over again in like the past 2.5 years. And it's just me and my mom. We have an amazing editor at large, Mr. Noah Rothbaum, who's just been an awesome partner for us and our family. So yeah, it's again always been a part of it, but now in a very different capacity.
So
That's my long history.
when you took over this legacy, um, uh, what were the non-negotiables on like continuing on? Because a lot of people would see, and we talked about this in the green room about like print media and the death of print media, which a lot of people still call for. What were the non-negotiables for you taking over this legacy to push it forward? Like, because you could easily have just gone, okay, we're going to go digital. Like, we're digital. We're going
Oh, yeah.
to sign in. Sorry, what were the non-negotiables for you, like stepping into this legacy and pushing it forward?
I know I kind of like we talked about this when we were in Portland together, but one of the things that when I told dad, I was like, look, if I take over the magazine, like what, what do you want to see and what do you want, me to continue the legacy for? And he was like, if you stop printing this, I will kill you. Then that's exactly what he said to me. And yeah, of course, like we have awesome platforms. Like we own bartender.com and mixologist.com, which are our websites for the magazine, which are awesome domain names to have. And I thank dad often in my head of saying like, thank you for doing that in the early 90s, because they're awesome platforms. But I really love the print aspect, right? I grew up with touching and feeling this magazine. And, we are the media partner for most of the trade events. And it's nice to hand this to someone at an event and then to rifle through it. I know that you were able to read John Dukuru's amazing articles, has been an awesome partner of us. Like it is very different, right? With the print space too, you only have a certain amount of pages to like share really cool information, but everything can go digital. So it's really fun to like pick and choose what we want to talk about in each issue and really make sure those stories, since they are few and far between, really have meanings that no one or that can really appreciate, right? John's article about being a brand ambassador to help the younger generation. That's what I want to do, right? I know our audience, for those who've known dad for a while, they're familiar with the magazine, but the kind of next generation of bartenders who've never been able to see their name or faces in print before. It's like a cool thing. Nostalgia's coming back. And if print is dead, then I'll take the nostalgia aspect of it and we'll have some fun to, bring it to life. But absolutely, I will never stop printing this magazine. I mean, it would save me and our family a lot of money because it's expensive, but I will never stop doing that. And that's a promise I made to dad. And then I mentioned that before, like the guiding light, right? This is meant to be for bartenders, by bartenders, with experiences to help each other. As soon as I start kind of doing, straying away from that or like going very consumer heavy, I know that that's not why dad started it. We do send magazines to some off-premise like accounts. Most of them are in Jersey, which I love because that's where we live. But yeah, it's just making sure we're creating that kind of space for bartenders to share stories, inspire, and hopefully one day they'll be the ones writing the articles going forward. So it'll be really fun.
Yeah, I messaged John when I was reading the article, and I was like, "Dude, this is a great article, man." He's like, "Oh, could you post on?" Like, of course, yeah, because it was one of those things, especially during Portland Cocktail Week. Like, a lot of young bartenders, I think, post pandemic, have come out of the pandemic as like young bartenders out of the pandemic, have sort of not necessarily forgotten, but like don't really know what happened before the pandemic. Like that 4 years of like that really like put a massive buffer in the before times and the after times.
Yeah.
And I said to him, I was like, that's why I posted. I was like, that article is about you personally because you're your own personal brand ambassador. You don't need to go out till 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't think I was out past midnight like at all during Portland Cocktail Week. Like I had a great time, woke up early, did my thing. It was fantastic. So when you do come to like creating the magazine, because it comes out once every quarter, once every 2 months.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Yeah.
Every quarter. So we just launched our fall winter issue with the team from Yacht Club on the cover.
That's right. Yeah.
Last week.
So when you're creating it, are you siloing a little bit more now where you're like, okay, this is the stuff that you said, I'm going to pick this for the print side of stuff, and then we'll silo this stuff out to our digital side of things. Are you very aware of what's going to go where? Like this stuff we can put in the prints because this is what I feel really passionate about. This stuff we can silo over to digital and still have a really good presence and a really good digital presence as well outside of the print.
Yeah, again, because it's just me, mom, and our amazing partner with Noah, we work really well in tandem of saying like, okay, what's coming in, what's our issue going to be focused on, and then a lot of times we're like, oh, this has a bigger legs to like help inspire someone going forward. Let's move that to print. And then share the other stuff online. And the same thing, everything that's on print is seen online. So like it never stops, kind of just like it's one circle all talking to each other. But yeah, with only, 40 pages or so, it's hard. You got to be really like tight knit about, okay, we got to lock to this. And, obviously we are a business, so making sure we get some good branded content in there, but also making sure that content also can help inspire the next generation. I think a great new article that we're working on is the 26 for 26. It's 26 bartenders to keep an eye on throughout 2026. And we partnered with Emily Arsenault and her amazing team at Brown Forman to do that. So it's like we're giving them, these amazing bartenders, a spotlight, but we're also giving them a digital presence too. So that was something we like made sure we carved out really nice room for, because one of the bartenders who's featured, Nico from the Meadowlark, he was telling me the other day, he's like, dude, my mom is like losing her mind that I'm going to be in a print magazine. And like that itself, like I went to bed that night and I was like, okay, like I'm keeping what dad asked me to do, inspire the generation, give them a platform. And yeah, it means a lot, but there's just some things are just quicker to get out online as well. Right. Because we're quarterly, like some of the event stuff, it's like, hey, we could just do a recap online and we can get it right out as soon as it's done. And other things are just like, it'll be cooler to share this at Portland Cocktail Weeks for them to see, and camp and Bar Convent. So it's nicer. So yeah, it's a ebb and flow battle all the time, but
yeah, mums can't cut out and put snippets in scrapbooks. Like my mother-in-law has snippets of every single magazine and newspaper I've been in for the last 20 years that I've been with her family. And yeah, you can't do that digitally. You can't cut out a little snippet.
Yeah, but it's so cool, right? Like you could print out the webpage, but it's not the same. Like when we did the cover with Travis Tober and his amazing team, like we mailed them and he framed a magazine, and I went to go see it and like brought a tear to my eye, because it's like his whole team's on the cover, right? And we highlighted everyone. It's just cool that they're like, we're sharing these experiences together. Again, it's not just about me, and I never wanted to be about our family. I want it to be about everybody else, and for us to help kind of garner those relationships.
How are you connecting with the younger generation on that? Because the younger generation of bartenders, a lot of it is digital. A lot of it's on your phone, and everything's very digestible, very quick, like pieces, like long form articles and stuff like that. How do you see engaging with younger generation as we move forward with the magazine and with the cocktail scene?
Yeah, I mean, I spend too much time on Instagram. I feel like a lot of us do, and it's like where I can learn and find out who's doing some really cool stuff. And I feel like where I do love the pop-ups too is like, I'm based in Hoboken, New Jersey, right? Like New York is really close. We have pop-ups all the time. And we're doing a lot of the pop-ups ourselves too, which I love. And I get to meet and see new people coming to market and share experiences with them. So I feel like those things are great. Showing up at the trade events, Portland is one of my favorite education-wise every year. Like the education at Portland and what Lindsay and Brittany are doing is like I find it really
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah.
Right. So spending time there and like engaging with everybody, like you gotta be out there. And we both talked about being tired, and like I know that you're sick and I'm starting to feel unwell myself, but just trying to engage with as many people as possible. And I say this a lot when I am given the opportunity to talk with folks, is saying like, hit me in the DMs. I am available. I am chatting. I'm open to seeing what you're doing and what you're learning from. And I will always try to find a place for you to live, and for you to share your cocktails and everything. But yeah, it's the blessing and the curse of Instagram. You can learn a lot, and there's some stuff that I just like want to ignore. But
Damn my algorithm. You watch one video and you're just pounded with the same sort of content. You're like,
oh
no,
my God,
stop it.
I don't want to see that. Yeah. As much dog videos as I want to see, I like seeing there's everybody, posting a lot of stuff on Instagram, and I encourage people to like take a chance, make a video, post it online. Who knows like where it could go? Like then it's fun. At least you're putting yourself out there. It's hard to do. But tag us. I'll repost it. No problem. Like, as long as you're a good person, I'm always happy to support you back.
So as you were talking about John, who's a good mutual friend of ours, like, how did that sort of relationship come back? Because I know that drinks journalism is definitely, especially in the cocktail realm, I think has definitely shrunk considerably over the last 5-10 years. Like that transfer to digital has happened a lot. Print media is not as prolific as it used to be. Of course, when that starts happening, then dollars per word when you come right into articles and stuff like that. How do you engage and find the next generation or the older generation that are still wanting to write and still wanting to give out their wisdom to the magazine?
Yeah, I've actually known John for quite some time. I met him when I was on the agency side. I met him at World Class, and I met him at Tails. And I just was always found him to be like very open and willing to share his experiences. And something that clicked for me was actually when I reached out to him to be a part of it was at Tails. And he was presenting, and he was talking about his mom, who recently has passed. And it like struck a chord with me, and I was just like, losing dad myself. And so I went up to him after the show and was like, hey, like, I'm really, sorry to hear about your mom. And I feel like, I want to do something with you at Bartender Magazine. And then we just were like sharing emails. And then we chatted over Zoom, just like kind of like what we're doing. And I was like, can I put some ideas together of what your experiences could be for topics throughout the year? And would you be willing to write? And we went back and forth. I think it was like twice. And we're like, good. We had a content calendar for a full year together,
Nice.
which was so cool. And it's just like, I'm continuing to reach out and seeing different folks that are willing to write. Ali Torres, who has been a longtime friend of mine. She's been writing for us for a while. Again, very lucky to have Noah and his connections as well to write some killer articles. So I have been very lucky of people reaching out. And then for John particularly, I just always respected him and wanted to make sure that, he had a spot. And it reminds me that I do have to reach out to him to figure out what we're going to write for the next 4 issues. But yeah, I continue to find stuff. And the same thing, like with Noah, he's been really happy to like review some stuff, because like, we're not all writers, and he can make some suggestions and do some different things. So just trying to find some good folks. Mike Mulberry wrote a really cool article. He works for Monin. He wrote some really cool stuff for frozen drinks for this summer issue, which is here. And they did a photography column, which I really like in our fall winter issue, of like, if you didn't take the photos, did the event happen? It's like kind of fun and quirky. And then he highlights some really great people who are doing photo work to, again, grow their business, give them an opportunity to reach a new audience. It's all a part of that same circle. But
when I first started like writing myself, when I came to Canada, I didn't write too much in Australia, but I just literally reached out to every magazine and was like, hey, would you be up for me writing? Here's a random article I've written. I'd love to have you. And I was posting on a few blogs, and then I got posted in a few magazines. But that's sort of how I got started as a young writer, was like, I just reached out to everybody and just put it there in the universe.
And that's the beauty, right? There's a lot of, industry outlets to reach out to. I can encourage everyone to do the same. reach out to me if you have an idea. And again, if we don't have a spot in print, digital is a platform, and we always will do like a custom social post that can say like, hey, if you want to read this article, go to our bio and all that kind of good stuff. So, yeah, I encourage it.
So we talked about the social media and the digital side of things. Are you looking at diversifying the brand more so? Like, I know that you've got swag on right now, like the swag.
Always.
There's you have to always wear swag, but
Yeah.
is there going to be a magazine podcast? Like, have you got the bandwidth to continue sort of expanding out as the mediums expand out? Like, I can't. I would say I'm relatively prolific on social media, but I still am probably 3 or 4 apps short of what you can do. Snapchat, Blue Sky,
Yeah.
all these other things. Are you looking at expanding over the next couple of years into different mediums?
Yeah. Right now I think continuing to grow on social is big for me. My wife yells at me all the time to do like a TikTok, but I was like, I don't want to be the star of the TikToks. I don't want to there's so many great people making drinks, and I'm like, I will happily help you and repost your stuff and bring that to life. But in terms of mediums, again, print, digital, and our social stuff, I think is, always everyone wants to continue to grow. I will continue to grow. What I'm actually having a lot of fun doing right now is like events and pop-ups and things like that. Again, it's giving the bartenders an experience to do really fun stuff, take them to new cities, do different things, and having a brand to come along and sponsor it. And I think that's just a lot of fun. But I like being on your podcast and other, so I'll just join yours. Yeah, we have the bandwidth, but it's always been a family business, right? So it's just me and mom, and I kind of like that aspect of it too, right? Like, we are small but mighty, and we'll probably keep within that. But we'll see. Who knows? The next Instagram might come out tomorrow.
Yeah,
and we'll be like, here we go. We got to get on this one now.
it's right now.
It's there's a lot. But yeah, I'll probably again expanding our in person, I think, is kind of my next, if you will.
It's a nice way, because I think sometimes we lean on brands a lot, and when you lean on brands and you're trying to spearhead as a bar, it's sometimes really tough. I've been talking to a lot of bars who do tons of pop-ups. Like, do you do an ROI report to the sponsors after all this is over? Like, do you let them know how many people showed up and what cocktail, or did the cocktails sell out? Like, what was their reception? Just a general ROI report. So having I wouldn't say you'd be a sub brand in organizing all the brands and popping them in.
Yep.
Something completely unique and different from magazines.
Yeah, and it's fun. Like, I from the agency work that I've done over the years, I did a lot of events, and I just feel like for me too, I can share the invites and do some fun social stuff, and I'm big into giving our bar friends some money, right? So when we do the pop-ups, we pay well and we do fun stuff. And I'm lucky to have a lot of the brands want to work with us, and that means a lot, because then I can get some awesome opportunities and work with these cool bars to give them, we're doing Milady's and Meadowlark right now.
Nice.
And it's 2 awesome bars. Julie's been an amazing support for this and for the magazine of many years. So it feels good for me. It's very holistic and natural. We're giving money to the bars. We get to have some fun, cool experiences. I haven't been to Chicago in a while. I really love that city. So it was cool. And the Milady's team was one of their first times in Chicago as well. So
nice.
The Meadowlark team showed some cool spots. Experiences, and getting paid to do it.
That's so one big thing the Bartender Magazine does do is it's the Bartender Hall of Fame. The Bartender Hall of Fame is kind of cool. When did that get started, and was that sort of your dad's way of giving a tip of the hat to the stall, to the industry at that time? And when did it start? Early 1980s, wasn't it?
Yes, 1985. My dad started the Hall of Fame, and I tell this joke that we're Jets fans, unfortunately, but fortunately for us, I guess it also goes back to the hardworking. We care about what we do. And my dad was like, okay, if the Jets are in the Hall of Fame, the bartender should have one as well. But it was just a way to showcase people who have been a part of the industry for a long time, have done really good things, and I wear this is my dad's bartender Hall of Fame ring. I wear his ring every day, just as like a reminder on myself and to just keep doing good stuff. But when I went back and looked at the list of people who were a part of it, obviously you see like, Dale's on the cover, like Dale's been a part of it since 1993, which is also crazy. At the Rainbow Room, they did an event, but there's people from the Mickey Mouse Club and a man named Albert who worked at a bar in Aruba for 40 years. Like, Dad was like, it's not just about the people or you hear about in the magazine or online. It's about these people who've been doing it for so long and giving them a spotlight. So over the years, Dad has done events, and he had a brand sponsor that would like put a fun event on. So it's something Dale and I are working very hard on, continuing to bring back, because a lot of people don't know it exists. It very much does, and it is a lot of fun. I have our spring and summer Hall of Fame inductee ready to go.
Oh, wow.
Summer doesn't know, but spring definitely does. And it's just a really cool and exciting thing. And I hope one day to have like a home for it, just to like walk around and see everybody that's in it. There's over 300 people in the Hall of Fame, and some of them I had to like look up. I was like, I don't know who this person is, but it will say like 1985 class of blank, Mickey Mouse Club. I was like, oh my God, like, how did Dad find these people? But there is a section where you can fill out a nomination form. And I remember being a kid, Dad going through all of the forms and being like, this guy's been at this one place for 50 years. We're going. I was like, okay. Like, that's most of my travel as a kid, was not going to, Six Flags or, I mean, I guess I probably went to Disney for that one, but I don't remember it. But was doing these Hall of Fame events, and it was just so cool. And I think that Dad was very, again, taking care of our industry, taking care of everybody. There's only a certain amount of like big accounts, but there's about 700 Chili's, right? Like, making sure that everybody that's a bartender has a space in Bartender Magazine and in the Hall of Fame.
So do you do the Hall of Fame every quarterly magazine, so once a year? Like every single quarter is a new one?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Back in the day, Dad did it every quarter, and it's something that I'm working on bringing back. But when Dad was sick for many years, that Hall of Fame took a back seat because Dad couldn't travel.
Yeah.
So yeah, that took a back seat. But that's one of the things that, when chatting with Noah, and then again, Dale's been an awesome partner to bring that to the forefront, to doing it every single issue. So that will start in the spring.
That's crazy. Like, and
yeah,
I'm gonna do a bit of a dig, but and I apologize in advance. Did your dad design the ring because he knew the Jets would never get a ring?
Probably. Yeah, Dad did design the ring. It says like right around, you're not gonna be able to see it, but Bartender Hall of Fame around here, around the circle. And everyone picks their like gemstone here. This is actually like a diamond that my mom bought my dad for their 20th anniversary, that he had a blue one and he switched it out for this. Dale has an opal in his. That's something that he got. And then there's like our logo on the side here. But yeah, no, Dad definitely. No, we still use the Sing ring manufacturer. I went back in the archives to find the person. I'm, trying to keep everything just the way Dad set it up for me. And luckily my mom is the best and has all of those contact skills. Yeah, she's got
in the Rolodex.
Everything
just ding through the Rolodex. Oh, the ring guy? Yeah, it's over here.
Yeah. I mean, she has every issue from when it started, and then like boxes of like, here's stuff for the Hall of Fame. Here's stuff we have a 501c3 called the Bartenders Foundation, which we sponsored 4 bartenders to fly out to Portland Cocktail Week. So I really appreciate Lindsay for also getting me involved in that. And that's what that's for, is to give bartenders money to do educational opportunities going forward. So that's something I want to continue to push up and push out as much as I possibly can. Dad didn't go to college, so he was like, any educational experience I can do, that's how we're going to do it. But
The Hall
during
of Fame,
COVID, we,
Hall of Fame's
yeah,
great. So like,
thank you.
it's just well, with the world is full of awards now. Like 20 years ago or 25, almost 30 years ago when I started, like there was none of this, and it's always. I remember reading about the Hall of Fame, and like as a 22-year-old bartender in Australia, I was like, I want a ring. That's one thing that I like. Because somehow we got Bartender Magazine in Australia, and it was like one of those random prints, and I would go to bookstores to buy any new cocktail books I hadn't seen before. And it is a good thing. Like, it's a great thing. It's great to have peer nominated stuff these days. But there is that, like you said, that guy who's been working for 40 years, and you walk into the bar. There's always that like hotel bar you go to in any city, and it's like the guy who's been there since the day one, and he
Oh
gives
yeah.
you great service. The cocktails are average to a little bit above average. They're not going to blow your
Yeah,
mind or anything, but
right.
it's one of those experiences that you're like, well, there's a reason why you've been here for 40 years, and people come here to have their Manhattan from you.
Yep. Oh, Albert still sends our family Christmas cards, and my mom went to Aruba last year, and he picked her up from the airport. Like,
Wow.
that's a connection that I mean,
You,
I remember going to his house when I was 7, like, and playing with his kids in Aruba, and like he picked us up from the hotel that he bartended at, and like gave us this cool experience that I was 7. That was like 30 years ago. Like, and I still remember that experience, and he still reaches out. And it's just funny, like that's how I feel like hospitality should work. We all continue to take care of each other, and it just really means a lot. And I hope that my daughter is 3, and I don't if she wants to be a part of the magazine, awesome. But if not, I'm cool with that as well. But I hope that one day she can like hear from a bartender that like they had a good experience with our family through the magazine and what they did for it, because that's how I experience a lot of these things. Like the fact that you had that experience with Bartender Magazine, 20 years ago, like, it just means so much, right? Like it's really inspiring. So thank you.
you're welcome. I've always said that if my daughter's sort of given some interest that she wants to be in the industry, and our city is very small, so I said you have to run with your mum's name. Like you can't go into the hospitality market in Victoria with the last
Yeah.
name Soole. Like you're gonna be a blonde, and you're gonna cut your teeth properly, and you're gonna get no favoritism from anybody. Just in case
Hey,
that, yeah,
it
you
worked
come
for
home.
me.
Yeah, you come home and you're upset at your employer, and dad's gonna go down and like scare the crap out of your boss.
Yeah, I do
So,
remember like some of the bars I worked at. I was like, man, like I had to pick up all this trash and do all this stuff. That's like sucks. I did it for 40 years. I was like,
yeah,
okay. Like, yeah,
yeah.
I was like, "Oh, well, I know I'm not going to get any love from that side, but everything else that I was interested in, Dad was very supportive of. So
So
yeah,
what's on your docket for the next like 6 to 12 months? Obviously, you point out the magazine quarterly. That obviously takes a huge amount of work. The events, I think, are one of the most exciting things, because I don't think any other bartender magazines really like leaning into that as like a
yeah,
drive. So what's
yeah.
the
I'm
next issue
really
for you?
Yeah, the next issue just came out. It's on our website, bartender.com, with the team from Yacht Club. Really excited. I'm shooting our spring cover tomorrow. I will tell you where that is, but not right now. It is a cool bar in New York that is opening very, very soon. So very excited to have them a part of the issue. That will be for spring. Again, our events, I'm doing like a cool bartender holiday party, just for the tri-state area, just to, give some love to the folks that are about to get, we always forget that we don't get to celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's. So I'm going to take a Monday in December, go to a really cool bar here in New York called Dear Strangers, and do some really like a fun little pop-up with some bar friends and some brands, to give everybody just a night off, have some fun, share some experiences together. And then our spring issue is going to be big, right? We'll have our new Hall of Fame inductee, which we'll have an event for. And then my dad wrote the original Bartending for Dummies. I know that we talked about that. So I'm doing a few like book signings. I don't think anyone needs me to sign a book, but, to chat about non-alcoholic drinks for dummies, which is my first, book with my name on it. Well, for Bartending for Dummies and Running a Bar for Dummies, I'll always keep Dad's name on them. They're his books, and I will not change that. Regardless of how many times I rewrite it, they will be Dad's. But this is my non-alc book to just chat about the platform. And, I feel like a lot of folks that are not in our industry, and that's what the Dummies books are for, consumers or people that are getting new into the industry, to give like a 101. So I want to show everybody that non-alcoholic drinks are not just Shirley Temples and Arnold Palmer's. There's a lot
Juice.
more to them. Juice, yeah,
Sure,
juice and more
right.
juice. Yeah. That's a big thing for me. So just trying to do some little like local bookstores and different things where I can promote the book, just to chat about that and all the awesome people that are in the book. We have 300 recipes in here, and
Wow.
100, about 120, 150 of them are submitted from bartenders and bar friends around the world. So continuing to give them the platform to showcase what they do, and give that proper notion that this is a lot more than juices mixed together. So
With the For Dummies series, how many books did your dad do for the For Dummies series?
So 2, running a bar for dummies and bartending for dummies. But the bartending for dummies is on I have them next to me, so I'm just making sure it's on its 6th edition. So this is the first one. This is actually my copy from my little personal supply from 1997. And then this is the 6th edition of Bartending for Dummies. I have props as always. 3rd edition of Running a Bar for Dummies. And then my book is the non-alc for dummies. So in total 9, but really 2, just different editions.
Yeah,
but he did a lot of other books. But
yeah, it's always one of those interesting things with the For Dummies. Like, I sometimes worry about some of the content I put out being too simple, but then when I, especially Portland Cocktail Week, I talk to people who I'm like, you work as a bar manager at a 25-year-old dive bar in like Hoboken, New Jersey. Like, you haven't been exposed to Tales of the Cocktail or like all that sort of super elevated stuff. You just need the basics. Like, you just need to know how to cost a cocktail and how to cost you well, and like those sort of things. And I think sometimes as we grow in the industry as leaders, we sometimes forget about the very, very baseline entry level stuff that predominantly a big chunk of the industry is at. Like, it's great to have this like the high end stuff, but like a big chunk of the industry is at that very rudimentary entry level stuff that needs to be taught.
And you kind of like, sometimes this simplicity is key, right? Like, you're like, oh, this is how I properly cost a drink. And someone who's been, coming out of COVID, we talked about that, right? Like, the person who was a bar back is now the beverage manager, right? And they might not have all of that experience. So just like getting back to the basics is huge. And, I have some people being like, it happens all the time, which doesn't bother me. They're like, I'm not a dummy. I'm like, I don't think sometimes I think I'm a dummy, but it's like, these are just like spark notes. Like, this is everything you need to know in a compact version, like off you go. So, I also didn't name the books. I just,
it's just the brand. It's not me. It's the brand.
It's not me. Yeah. But a lot of people, like, you're not used to seeing this like very yellow book in the bookstore, but I remember them very vividly. But yeah, I think all of these are just like, it's a good place to start.
Yep.
Like, if you're just getting in the industry, and I think for a lot of our friends, like, the Running a Bar for Dummies is massive. Like, talks about like different, like, you might need a lawyer for these following things that would be helpful because you don't know what you're going to get into, and like these different certificates. Like, and Dad knew all of them because he ran bars, and I partner with some, there's another author on here who opened a bunch of national account restaurants who helps from the food side of the business too. So like, she's a great partner, and my focus is really on like the actual bar. So it's cool. You need a place to start.
Always need a place to start. So, you've watched the live streams, you listen to the podcast, so you know that we're at the stage where it's the 5 deep podcast questions that every guest gets asked. So
I'm ready.
What is one lesson or experience that has shaped your perspective the most, and how do you carry that forward in your life?
Ooh, I think like the one thing a lot of people have said over the years is like, you never really stop learning. So I try to listen as much as I can. I've been very lucky, again, to have these experiences, not only on the agency side, but with dad. And, I never think that I know more than anybody. I feel like I can learn from every single person that I have an interaction with and take something away from them. So try to listen a lot more than I talk. And I do that often. I do find myself when I'm talking with you, just like I ramble, but I have to bring myself back to center and say, like, try to learn something from everybody I meet. And the cocktail weeks are a big one in general, to just like listen as much as you can, to everybody. Everybody has a different perspective or experience than you will. And I try to listen to everybody to try to make not only what I do in the magazine better, but like myself. Like, I just want to be the best person I can be. So listen as much as I can. And I wish I listened more to dad when I was younger, because I don't have that experience, unfortunately, anymore.
If you could leave one lasting message or piece of wisdom for the world, what would it be and why?
Yeah, hospitality is everything. Yeah, there's a very true, like, the Cheers, sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. It feels nice to be constantly welcomed. And this industry is very much of, you put out what you get in. And I continue to do good things and try to do good things for everybody. And I find it more coming back and how much everybody is appreciated to me. And I hope I continue to do that. Hospitality and walking in and being welcomed, and just no matter what aspect of it is, you don't know what someone's going through or how their day has been. And we as folks in hospitality can change their whole mood in 2 seconds just by welcoming them. So I hope to continue to do that. Put hospitality first.
Looking back on your journey, what is something you wish you'd understood earlier in life?
My dad was usually right. I growing up in it, you mentioned about your daughter, right? Like, you can't go into your community with the last name and not know. Like, I, for a while, was like, oh, I want to make my own journey and do my own thing. That's why I went to the agency side, and that's why I tried to learn as much as I could in every aspect of hospitality to make like the space better. But now I take all those things and bring them to the magazine. But I didn't get enough opportunities to chat with dad about like how to continue to make this different, what ideas he had, and things that he might have wanted to try to do more of. Like, if I could ask him one question, I'd be like, what's something that you started that never kind of fleshed out, and how could I put my own like shape on it? Because I wanted to do my own thing. And now that I'm doing the magazine with my mom, I'm like, what am I missing? Like, what else can I do? So listen to your parents.
How do you define success, and how your definition of it changed over time?
I missed the first part. I'm sorry.
How do you define success, and how the definition of it changed over time?
So back in the day, I always was like doing events or activations. Is like, how many people did we get through the door, and did everyone have a good time, and like, is everybody happy? And now I'm like, are the bartenders happy? Are we doing a good thing for them? Are we putting them at the forefront? Like, that to me is like giving them the experiences to make themselves better, and in turn making other folks better. That's my win. And mom says to me often that my dad would say, you're only as good as like your last magazine. So if I can continue to elevate and do things better each time, and continue to give those kind of life lessons or cocktail experience, that's success now. But back in the day, it was very like, it always will be data driven kind of thing, right? You always need to like give back to the sponsors, the folks that are paying for it. But I find myself really focusing now on making sure that the people that are behind the experiences that are in the magazine are getting out what they want from it, versus everything else. So
Nice.
Putting people first.
What do you hope your legacy will be, and what steps are you taking to build it?
I've always put dad first, and now I put mom and our family first, to really take care of them and to do it. And I feel like a lot of the folks, when they chat about dad, they're like, oh man, I've met your dad. I'm like, oh boy, it could go one of two ways. Like, your dad gave me a lot of shit. I was like, that checks out. But what he was mostly known for was like he was a good person and cared about the community. I hope to do the same. I hope that everything that we do, and no one's going to be perfect in anything. I hope to just continue to give people a good space with Bartender Mag, and that, you know, making my wife and daughter and soon to be son proud. I just want to make sure that they can go, you know, it's also very funny. You go to, as a kid, I go to school and everyone's like, "Oh, my parents work for Verizon, or, you know, they're on Wall Street." And I was like, "My dad does cool bartender stuff." Like, to kids, they were like, "What are you talking about?" And so I hope that my daughter and son and wife are as happy to say that, you know, we do stuff in the hospitality community for bartenders, that they're happy to do that. And I hope I can give everybody a good shot at it too, to be a part of it.
Final question: what is your favorite classic cocktail?
Uh, I know this is, well, I have two. I have to say one. My dad invented the fuzzy navel. And so I have to say the fuzzy navel is our family's drink. But you know, as much as I love the fuzzy navel and that made dad very happy, I am an old fashioned guy. I think that it's like the perfect drink. You can change out the spirit and still make it right. I know that like tequila or mezcal old fashions are becoming really popular. I love rum old fashions, but again, same thing. One syrup change, one spirit change, you can have, you know, 60
Yeah.
drinks at all times. I just love it. And if that's kind of like, if I'm going to go out and have a drink, I'm going to have an old fashioned. It's also a good, like, what kind of bar am I at? Like, parameter. If you're going to start muddling oranges and cherries, I'm like, this is where I'm at. And I know that I might have a whiskey soda in my next cocktail or, you know, but when you could tell like a cool craft. And I love the getting the Yari out and the spinning, like it just feels like I'm a part of it. And you can, again, like I'm a big fan of rums right now. So having like rum old fashions just like makes me very happy. But I'm an old fashioned guy,
Nice.
period. I have a print magazine. Why wouldn't I be old fashioned?
Well, man, thank you so much. It was so good that like we sort of crossed paths on social media for the last like 18 months, and it was really great catching up on Portland Cocktail Week, because that is one of my favorite festivals in North America. Like I just
Me too.
love everything they do there. It's still stayed nice and intimate and small. It's been great, and I got really great feedback for the stuff I did, which I haven't spoken for like 5 years at a show, so like it was really great to like have the platform for that. So, but it's just great.
Yeah, you crushed it.
Well, I appreciate that. Um, thank you so much for your time, man. I really, really appreciate that, and thanks for much everything.
Yeah, thank you again. Thank you for taking the time. And you know, I have been a long time listener, first time caller, but you know, it's cool. I love to hear people's perspectives, and this is like the chance, you know, to hear about, you know, the awesome girl you had on yesterday who was talking about cocktail competitions. I thought she had awesome insights about why to do them,
Yeah,
right, and like how it's a good opportunity. So I love listening, and I appreciate you giving our industry a platform to share their experiences as well. So thank you so much,
well, thanks,
and
man.
hope to do some stuff with you and Bartender.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. I'd love to do that. So I'll really chat you soon, man.
Cheers. Thank you so much.